Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Fightful Sour Graps NXT post show. How was that? I usually really screw up the intro. I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty
It was
solid.
very good. It was
Yeah.
very good. We're very
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
Thank you. This is the I'm supposed to do this. I also forgot. I always forget to do this. This was the June 7th, 2022 edition. In case you somehow found this on the internet, we're like, wait a minute, which year is this? June 7th, 2022. I'm your host, Alex Pawlowski, and with me, as always, is the wonderful Kate Elizabeth. Kate, how are you doing? You were a bit under the weather, at least vocally, but you sound good now.
I was, yeah, by the end of Sunday night, talking was not a thing that was coming easily to me, but I am sounding and feeling better now. I am at Mama and Papa Elizabeth's with Buster Elizabeth himself, so
Wow.
I'm good. You've seen like 3 different setups in the course of like 4 days. So, and I didn't join you for Raw yesterday, so I'm in a great mood.
You're in a great mood because you didn't have to talk about what happened on Raw last night.
I didn't have to talk about Edge. I didn't have to talk about Becky Lynch losing the 24/7 title match.
Nope. No, didn't have to talk about any of those things.
No,
so that's good.
not.
What we're going to talk about tonight is NXT. A decent all around episode of NXT.
Which is weird.
The 2.0.
Yeah, the 2.0. Guys, get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats at humperchats.com, which function just like super chats, but we get to keep a little bit more of the cashish.
Yeah.
And leave a
Jake
thumbs up on this video.
Yeah. Jake Salazar starts it out with Alexander Pawlowski. I have some heat with you over that Aaron Rodgers comment you had last night. Last night I said all of the fans in Green Bay were cheering for the wrong things because they are stupid. And you know that because they still root for Aaron Rodgers. I stand by that comment because there's no way any sane person could root for that guy anymore. You could root for your team, but you could hope deep down inside that he twists an ankle getting off the team bus and the backup quarterback comes in and throws for 500 yards and they never need to use Aaron Rodgers ever again.
You are a classic heel picking on the hometown sports team. Cheap heat for Alex tonight.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, please get in your super chats. Bottom of this little YouTube deal. Also, humperchats.com, as you have said, we got a few of them. We got some good things to say. Some surprises. I think that nobody expected a certain face to show up on Raw,
which I think I'm excited about.
And for that certain face to have a certain voice again.
Yes, thank God.
We'll talk a lot about that. Yeah. Jake Salazar. He is literally the greatest quarterback of a generation. Oh, I get it. So you judge the art, not the artist. That's fine. That I go back and forth on that. And in this particular way, I'm going to go ahead and judge the artist.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that Tom Brady is probably the best of the generation.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. Honestly, I don't.
Our moderator, Luis, who we missed last week, Drew Nicholas did such a wonderful job filling in, but we did miss Luis, said, bro, Tom Brady is right there.
I mean, also, screw Tom Brady, too. Like, get that guy the heck out of here. Like, I mean, that guy's awful as well.
You had your moment.
Most of them are awful. Like, that's the problem, is you got to realize that most of them are actually awful people. Jimmy Pringle says that he went on vacation and all hell breaks loose in the wrestling world. Also, I got the COVID after 2.5 years. Well, that's probably because you went on vacation. Usually that happens when you go.
Yeah, it seems to be. But as a connoisseur of COVID and someone who has gotten it 3 times, this is the one to get. I promise. If you have to get it, this is the best version.
Kate, give Papa Paul Elizabeth a big old hug from all of us at the SGS. That's nice.
Will do.
I don't know what this is. Look here, Caitlin, you just stop that BS.
What
Says Jake
BS?
Salazar. I don't know about. I don't even know. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's Tom Brady. I mean, I think it's a fair argument
I
to
mean,
say
listen,
Tom Brady is the best quarterback of that generation
listen.
based on everything he did on the field.
Right. Listen. You're this. Tom Brady has longevity. They're gonna find out that dude went built a time machine, went into the future, and I don't know, cloned himself and then came back, because there's no way he's doing all this stuff at the age he is. Like he put I don't know, he surgically implanted a 9-year-old's knees into his knees. There's no way it's possible that he's doing what he's doing at this age. It's not possible.
I know what it is.
But well,
It's aliens.
could be aliens. Could be aliens.
Probably aliens.
Also, I was a big Aaron Rodgers fan. And
I figured based on your location.
I mean, I just was because I always actually really liked the guy, and then I moved to the Wisconsin area. They won the Super Bowl the first year I was here, and I was like, well, that's the first in a long, long line of Super Bowl victories for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And guess what? It was not. Anyway, Jake Salazar said Tom Brady is absolutely nowhere close to Aaron Rodgers based on talent at the position. I just love it. I love it. Like, seriously.
I love that people are sending money to talk about anything but the show that we're.
Yeah, go ahead, do that. Paul Elizabeth says, "Oh noes, get well soon, Sir Pringle."
Yeah,
yes,
seriously.
Everyone send in get well wishes to the wonderful JW Pringle, who's been a top guy at this this year's show since the very beginning. Eric Freeds says, Mazel Tov to Kate and Dan Barry on their engagement. Longtime Sour Graps watcher, casual NXT watcher. Keep up the great work, Alex and Kate. Go Bengals.
Okay, I feel the need to explain that I'm not engaged to Dan Barry, but I am wearing his shirt. As I've said before on programming, on my Wednesday night podcast, they make me play FMK a lot, which is Marry Kill, which is a game like you played in high school. And I had promoted the podcast I was on by saying that we were playing it. And Dan Barry said, "K me, please." And I said, "I'm going to marry you." That's way worse. And so we had this little kayfabe engagement going. And then coworkers of his thought he was actually engaged and stuff. So I actually saw him this weekend at my commentary gig. He was on the show. And we decided that we're going to register to get a bunch of free stuff.
Very nice.
So, but go buy his shirt. He's really, really nice and very valuable in an industry that kind of underappreciates him, in my opinion. He rules.
So anyway, if we've gotten past all of the football talk, because we are nothing if not a professional football podcast.
Like Nick Full, like the whole chat right now.
Anyway, so here we go. Tonight's episode of NXT is promising. At least on the men's side, your mileage may vary, honestly, on the whole toxic attraction thing and what you think they are. I think they are doing what they are asked to do well, but I don't like that being the face of the women's division. That's just not my thing.
We'll get there.
Right.
I have things to say.
But on the men's side, Braun, Carmelo, and the Creeds as the champions, we're in a really good place. We're in a really, really good place. And there's a lot of maybe not in the tag team division, but on the other side, in the upper mid card and in the main event scene, there are a lot of options to have at least some good matches. Whether or not they're actually going to be good feuds, that's up to the writing staff, and we'll see. But Jake Salazar says Green Bay Packers has a worse management than WWE, and then says, "I know you see that dang super chat, Alexander." I saw them both. I would like to not spend this entire time talking about this.
Not this week. 2 weeks ago, yes.
Here's the deal. You'll never get me to say that Aaron Rodgers is a bad quarterback. I just don't think you should root for him based on the fact that he's a trash human being. That's what I think, personally. Anyway, don't know why we got into this.
I don't know
really
either.
don't know. Anyway, the point I was trying to make was, let's see where they go from here into the summer, because they're in a good spot, but they could screw it up immediately, because they've been known to do that, especially since they went all rainbow. So
Correct.
we'll see from here. Jake Salazar says, I will spend all money to turn this into a football podcast. Well, you're going to have to. And Nerd Guru says, chiming in on the quarterback talk, as a resident of New Jersey, Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. So end of the discussion. Was Eli Manning playing defense? Because that was who beat Tom Brady in those Super Bowls. Not Eli Manning. Eli Manning got bailed out by the most fluke catch in the history of football played anywhere. Here in the World Football League, Canada, in the backyard, the most fluke catch in the history of catches. That's what he got bailed out by. So, listen, you want to come at me for football analysis? I got you. I haven't actually watched a football game in literal years because I boycott the NFL because they've got some shitty business practices. But
you continue to watch wrestling?
But yeah, that's the thing. I had to pick one. I could only pick one. And I picked the one that actually pays me money to talk about it.
You know what? That's fair.
There you go.
That's fair.
So the
football doesn't work. It's fine.
We get the whole thing start out with Santos waiting for Tony D to get driven up by Raul. Excuse me, not Raul. Cruz Del Toro. And hey, Santos, come over here, open this car door. Hey, you do that thing I told you to do? Yes, he'll have the papers by Friday. Friday, that's pretty good. What about the other thing I told you to do? Yes, the city hall meeting. I don't know why you want to do redistricting. Hey, that's for me to know, you to find out, okay? Also, you better put on your tights. You got a match. I love that he's like now giving him matches. And this is where we go back to, there's nobody in charge here. Like, the inmates are running the asylum. Nobody has actually nobody's actually in charge of this place. So just like all the wrestlers can just make matches whenever they want, nobody's going to tell them no. Just do it. Why not just do it? So there you go.
Which made it frustrating in the opening promo with Grayson Waller when he said, you can't just get an opportunity because you want one. I was like, since when? And that's what your whole career has been built on? Because you don't win matches like ever. But I'll say this. I watched NXT with Paul Elizabeth tonight. Normally, I don't make him sit with me even when I'm visiting because I love my parents and I'm not going to make him sit through NXT, but he voluntarily sat there. He was really in on Tony D, as one should be.
Why would you not be?
Because unless you've actually seen Tony D, I don't think you necessarily understand the magic of the fact that he's actually pretty okay at acting.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Like when you hear us say, keep cool, Gabagool, you're not like, hey, I bet that guy can actually act.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Jake Salazar says, well, Eli won twice, Alexander, so to quote DX, suck it. I really could not care less. Keep sending us money. I'll keep reading them.
Yeah, keep it. Listen.
Mark Losper sends in one that says, I live outside of America, so I watch actual sport instead of that gridiron stuff. Despite that, WWE have much worse management than Green Bay. It's a toss-up. So I did love all the interplay between Tony and Santos. And guess what, Kate?
What?
If you're gonna do a babyface turn, this is how you do it. Not last night. This is how you do it. And get I don't know what their plans are for him, but Santos as a guy the crowd is supposed to cheer for has a lot of potential as a tip-top guy in any company. So we'll talk more about that match, but this opening scene was wow.
I am very, very excited about that. It makes me a little nervous because I do want them to go to the main roster at some point. And I think them versus the Bloodline would be awesome, having them as face and the Bloodline as heel, obviously. But I also don't like the way they present baby faces on the main roster.
Well,
So
that's
I don't
true.
know. But Legado and Santos Escobar in particular, it's fun to want to root for him. Like he's really, really good. And yeah, we can get into it more later at the match. But no. Nope.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I'm not.
No, we're not going to do that.
No. Just even prior to the most recent developments, no.
Right.
Just no. No. So so then well we're getting some little some super chats here from Eugene Zoliz for $1. If you have something you actually want to ask, make sure you send it in there and we will definitely ask it.
For sure. Otherwise we'll just take your money.
Yeah, I mean fine. Tom LaValle says Tony's a great actor because he went to the U of Buffalo. So many great wrestlers coming through Buffalo right now. It's true.
Other than Buffalo boys, Daniel Garcia, Butcher and Blade.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. There's just there's outside of the purview of WWE, a guy who can do this character. Like, if you turn it down like 3 notches, it becomes not a cartoon, even though he's playing the cartoon really, really well. It becomes like a regular person, a guy who is a fast-talking manager type. But if he wants to get involved in the fight, he can do that as well. Like, I think he's really good in the ring, but also I think his absolute ceiling lies in being able to get anybody he's working with over because he's such a great talker.
Yeah, this whole thing has just been a lot of fun, and it's been a well-booked story, and it makes sense, which is why I'm skeptical of where it's going to go. But so far, it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some spots in the match that I really liked from both an in-ring perspective and a storytelling perspective, like with the crowbar and stuff. But we'll get there.
Yeah. JB Pringle says, "Foosball is the devil. Aaron Rodgers is the devil too." That, of course, is from the very famous scene in Any Given Sunday. So I don't know what I'm doing. So then I guess we'll talk about that match now. They forced Santos to enter to Tony D's music, with Tony D like front and center in the ring, and then he walks over and does a little cheek pat and a tap on the shoulder as he walks away, and there's death coming out of Santos's eyes at him. Like, it was, I love their interplay. It's so great. The match with Santos and Frazier is really good, except for I love the fact that, like, Tony D's on commentary and like, hey, that's not working. Do something else. I don't like that.
I loved that.
He does his amazing suicide dive. He's like, what the hell is this? No, don't do that anymore. Take that out of your repertoire. It stinks. And like, he's like, it's great. And so Frazier's really good, but he's not as good as Santos Escobar. And then 2 Dimes slides a crowbar to Santos. And then Santos looks at it and is insulted that they think he needs that in order to beat Nathan Frazier. So he tosses it aside and immediately loses to Nathan Frazier because that's how it works. I don't make the rules. That's how WWE books things. But him taking the high road by choice when his evil boss was like forcing him to cheat, that sends him down the path of being a babyface. They were trying to chant Legado to Tony D's music. Like, Santos is super over and he's a really top tier dude. This could be the beginning of something great. If they're going to slow build through this to him fully turning crowd favorite babyface, I think there's something really excellent at work here.
Absolutely. And just a few spots that I wanted to call out because there was a lot that I really liked in this match. There was an incredible head scissors takedown. The surfboard stretch is just like one of my favorite holds in wrestling. I love it. It's so brutal looking and very simple and feels like you're trying to win a match. Like I like moves that make it feel like you're trying to win a match. And buddy, is the surfboard stretch one of them. I loved the crowbar spot because it felt so he didn't like pick up the crowbar and sit and debate whether or not to use it and have like a crisis of conscience. He was like, I don't need that thing to win this match. Like, get out of here with it. Like, that's not how we operate. Like, I absolutely loved that. You called out the suicide dive before. Loved it. Loved his ridiculous suicide dive and him staring at Tony D and Tony D jaw jocking, but him just staring at him like, I can't believe I'm in this position, you son of a bitch. Plus my mom thinks he's cute. So just like a nice, some nice color commentary to have going on. She thought the guy with the long hair was cute. So just really, really liked a lot about this. There was a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker in there that was great. Nathan Frazier is great too. His finisher is absolutely insane, like unbelievably athletic. But I just really liked, for the first time in NXT in a while that I can remember, it was like great story and great in ring. I think the last time we were getting this was probably with Imperium and Diamond Mine, and then they booted it, obviously. So I'm hoping that they don't boot this. There's no title involved, so they can't botch it that badly.
Right.
But this has just been absolutely fantastic. I loved this match. This is like something, there's not a lot on NXT that I would tell people to go seek out. This is something I would tell people to go seek out. My only complaint is they got to give Nathan Frazier a character other than, I'm so happy to be here.
Crikey, I can't believe that I've got, Bob's your uncle. I guess I'll go out and try my best, won't I? Like, he's like,
Bob's your uncle.
He's like if a chimney sweep became a wrestler, you know?
No. Yeah. Great. This was great though. This was really nice to see on my TV. And I was like, it's very weird to have positive things to say about NXT at back-to-back shows. Felt weird. Started to make me itch a little. I don't like it. Doesn't feel good.
I need him like just jauntily walking along a turn of the century London street, just singing WWE, WWE, AW. I does what I likes and I likes what I do.
He jumps in the air and clicks his heels. He's like,
exactly. Mark Losper saying an evil boss treating an underling like crap and the underling trying to fight back. I guess Vince learned to write what you know.
It feels authentic.
And Luis says it's like Wardlow MJF, but the Gabagool remix. Hey, so not everything can be good, Kate.
Of course not. We can't always have nice things.
No. They all can't. Then they can't all be home runs. Jaden Pringle says, "Boy Meets World Chimney Sweeps" is my new band name. So there you go. That's good. We got a Veen Wiegner versus Double Vest match. Old Double Vest of Double Vest and the Beach fame.
Double Vest and the Beach fame.
Yes.
And what fame it is.
Yeah. I don't get what you're doing with Von Wagner.
Neither do they.
This is the thing that is that it's good that Von Wagner lost because he's bad, and the more he loses, the less I'll see him on my TV screen. But just like with last night, and so often with WWE, the ends do not justify the means. It's good that Finn Balor is going to be in a prominent position as the leader of whatever is what they're going to call the Judgment Day now. He's going to be heel Finn Balor is going to be a great thing. It does not justify the slapdash, haphazard, out of friggin' nowhere way that they got to it. Just as Like, it's great that Von Wagner lost. However, like, it appeared that you were building him as a legitimate monster for, like, I don't know, months now. And if the payoff for that is for him to lose to half of the Redneck Boys, that's a really dumb payoff. So yeah, Von Wagner loses to Double Vest because the Beej throws his cast into the ring, which Double Vest picks up and hits over the head on Von Wagner, and then hits a lariat and then pins him. And great, I guess. What were we doing? What did you make me watch every week on NXT? You forced me to watch minutes every week of Von Wagner doing Von Wagner stuff, and the payoff is this?
Bro.
That can't be right.
So, I love wrestling managers. I love wrestling managers and I love wrestling weddings, okay? I love Stokely. I love Heyman on the main roster. I've been wanting him to get paired with Ronda Rousey. I loved when Zelina was doing her thing with Andrade. I don't understand why Robert Stone, Mr. Stone, keeps working with losers. I don't understand what Sophia Cromwell is in this picture. I don't understand anything about the presentation anymore. It's incredibly muddy, and I'm so confused. She used to just stand there and point, and then last week, Wade Barrett said she was managing him, and I was like, so they're co-managing? So that was weird. Then let's get to the match.
It's like they're co-parenting. That's what
it's like they're co-parenting, but one of them's a hot girl.
Yeah.
Like, I just, she literally stood in the crowd and pointed, and now she comes down to the ring with him and also points. And Robert Stone stands there and doesn't even help someone get matches, just stands there, and then that person loses. So, it's an incredible misuse of a wrestling manager and a hot girl. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to be. The match was awful. I'm sorry. Like, it's bad. Normally we talk about how bad the creative is here. You got to be able to know how to throw a punch at this point in the game. I'm sorry. Both of these fellas, but especially Von Wagner, like, the footwork on these punches was terrible. All they did was throw each other into corner spots and give each other big boots and bad punches. It was awful. This was not a Southern ass whooping. No, this was a terrible, terrible, terrible match. There's some very, very basic stuff that just was slapola in this. And then the booking makes no sense for so many reasons. One, think of all the people you sacrificed for Von Wagner. You had Ike Manjiro. You were trying to sacrifice Kushida, who was like, hey, I'm out of here in a month anyway. I'm out of here now. I'm not putting this guy over on my way out. But you still, like, built this guy. You had him yeeting people into tables. To have him lose to a half of any tag team makes no sense, because in my opinion, if you're a half of any tag team, you should probably be losing in that situation unless there's a much bigger storyline picture, because the thing that you compete at is tag team wrestling, right? Like, you should probably be doing the job if you're half a tag team in there. Especially when it turns out that the hand was fine. He threw the cast in the ring so they can compete as a tag team is now what you just told me.
Yeah. Apparently, I think they want us to think, oh, he just got cleared 5 minutes before he came down to support his friend in the match or some crap.
Yes,
you know?
Of course.
I mean, I'm doing their work for them by assuming that's what they want us to think, because anything else would be incredibly asinine.
Makes even less sense. I just haven't seen what Von Wagner is good at yet. I really haven't. I don't understand the presentation at all. I hate to, like, come in and whine about the same things week after week, but it just, none of this makes any sense to me. The booking doesn't make sense. The match was so bad, like, so bad. And I don't understand this presentation. I don't really understand, like, what this triad of Sophia Cromwell and Robert, I only manage losers, Stone, and Von Wagner is. He doesn't even fight to get the matches. People roll out of the ring and he doesn't kick them in the head. Like, what is the point of you as a manager? I'm so confused.
I don't understand.
This was bad. This was a really, really bad match, and not a Southern ass kicking that I was promised.
For you, Von Wagner losing another match he couldn't afford to lose was completely incomprehensible. For Robert Stone, it was Tuesday. Yes, of course. JW Pringle says that Redneck Boys, spelled RED space NEK space BOYZ, is his new rap band name.
I think that's just a Kid Rock album.
And then, of course, Buster Elizabeth says, why couldn't they bring Commander Aziz to team with Von Wagner? They could call them Maximum Male Models. P.S. More treats, Papa Elizabeth. That was nice.
I can't believe he's laying on the ground super chatting right next to me.
Yeah. And then Riot DR says that, of course, reminds us that not only was the Beach out there, but also Horse Girl was out there. That's very important that Horse Girl was there. She distracted the ref to allow the thing. So he wanted me to sing this. They're Horse Girl and the Beach. Yes, Horse Girl and the Beach. The horse is a lawyer and no one likes Beach. They're Southern and they brawl with clotheslines and the law. They're Horse Girl and the Beach. Thank you. Chris Pereira says, I come for the wrestling, but I stay for the Mary Poppins references.
As one should.
So no Wesley on the show tonight.
He did work a dark match on
SmackDown. He faced Sanga at SmackDown. So one guess as to who Vince thinks has the most potential there. And then but he wasn't on the show tonight, but they did interview Zion Quinn, who says Nathan Fraser. That's another one who carries a lucky rabbit's foot around with him. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna beat Wesley next week. Blah 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 blah. There you go.
That was a great promo. I'm so excited for that match now.
Thank you.
Hey, want to do Nathan Fraser impressions right now? Let's do them dueling. Ready?
What are we doing now?
Nathan Fraser impressions.
Oh, I can't believe it's me. I've got another chance to show what I can do in the ring. Gosh, I hope I win. And if I do, Bob's your uncle. That'll be me, Nathan Fraser. Big Nate, they called me back in Southwark. But I'm right here, and I'm gonna. Yeah, sorry.
I think we have a new character.
Oh yeah, no, it's
nobody's been added to rotation since Linder.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, one of our guys who's a top character here has now migrated to the other channel. So I don't know if we can get it, but Regal is always going to be here in our hearts. Jake Salazar still at it again. Oh, Kate, I almost forgot Peyton Manning was 3-1 versus Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. So how about them apples? Peyton the real goatal mode. Like, pick one, dude. Just pick one. Like, I don't know. If my favorite guy isn't better than Tom Brady, then other guys are. Come on, listen. Honestly, who could possibly care?
Thanks for the money.
But thank you for the money anyway. So Braun Breaker comes out, talks about how Joe Gacy pushed him to the limit, almost made him question who he was. He brought my father into it. Boy, but I'm here, and I really hope there's somebody who's willing, like who's ready to have a shot at this title. And I thought we were going to get Giovanni Vinci.
We did not.
They revealed he was Fabian Eichner later. But he's not Fabian Eichner.
No, he's Giovanni Vinci.
He's Giovanni Vinci. So you're not revealing anything by showing us his face, because you want us to forget that he was ever in Imperium, because you're never going to reference that fact. So what are you revealing exactly? Like, it's a weird thing. Like, either have him come out and cut a promo, hopefully in a Luigi or Mario voice. That'd be my preference. But
well, you are revealing that he has a face. We didn't
yes.
know he had a face until this moment.
We assumed.
Maybe you did.
I guess I did.
Unless every part of your body appears in a promo, I assume you don't have it. They did that with Tiffany Stratton, though. I'll say that.
Jeremy Pringle says, "Pip pip cheerio, governor. I likes crumpets and tea. I wanted to do an impression too." Oh, I get it. I get what you're saying there. Oh yeah, there you go. There we go. We have the best people who are in the chat. As Bill Cheek says, "How do I reach these kids?"
We get to make a lot of South Park references on here.
We do. That's nice. So anyway, he calls out anybody, come out and challenge me for the title. And it's Apollo Crews, Kate.
It is.
Now I don't even remember the last time we saw Apollo Crews wrestle an honest to God match.
Not like a real one.
In on Raw. Like not like part of a battle royal, or he was out there as a lumberjack or something. I don't remember the last time we saw him wrestle on Raw. He's been on Main Event a lot.
Sure.
But that's about it. But he's definitely been doing the gimmick they gave him at the beginning of 2021, where where they decided, "Oh, so you're actually Nigerian? Can you do an accent? Great. From now on, you're either a Prince T'Challa of Wakanda or Eddie Murphy from Coming to America." Like those are the things that you want. Oh, right. His last TV match was a handicap match, him and Aziz versus Apollo.
That was on March 21st.
March 21st. So there you go. That's what they used. They used him to put over Omos because that was a needed to happen. Eugene Solis says, "I'm a new member of the Sour Graps family." Welcome, Eugene. Thank you. So Apollo Crews comes out and he's dressed not as he doesn't have the giant staff thing. He comes out. There's no Commander Aziz.
Also, thank goodness for that.
Thank goodness. And he comes out and he's just Apollo Crews. He's Apollo Crews. The Apollo Crews who left NXT way too early. He says, "I left NXT too early," and that's true because he was in prime position to take over that place in the next 6 to 12 months. And they called him up out of the blue for no reason, had no idea what they were going to do with him. And he's floundered on the main roster ever since. Even as much as a guy who has a U.S. championship and an Intercontinental championship under his belt in the past 6 years, as much as a guy with that resume can flounder, he has floundered on the main roster. So it is very good to see him in NXT. He says he's here for as long as I want to be, is what he says. It's very good to see him in NXT. It's very good to see him back as his old self.
Yes.
And yet, Kate, they just think they can drop that and never give any kind of any kind of explanation about it. And the reason why he can't explain why he doesn't have the accent anymore is because then it would require somebody to actually explain why he had it in the first place. And if anybody had to explain either of those things, there's literally nothing they could say that wouldn't be laughably stupid. And this is the problem, is that once you've made your decision to get into something, you got to find a way to get out of it. You just can't like poof it out of the blue. It's like, you can't do that. Like,
I feel the same way about a lot of the name changes. I feel like the only one that was ever appropriately handled was when Curtis Axel went from Michael McGillicuddy to Curtis Axel. Paul Heyman gave a promo and actually acknowledged it and kind of explained it. And I was like, that should be what you do all the time. An accent is different. Kofi Kingston's not Jamaican, so newsflash, like this has been a continual thing with them. I will say, in their weird little world, NXT, though one of their products, and the main roster don't exist together. So last time Apollo was in NXT, he did not have this ridiculous accent. He's back in NXT.
So he doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't have this ridiculous accent, and they
Perfectly
don't explain it because he's back in NXT.
Because why would they explain anything?
Well, and like you said, they can't because they never explained why he was suddenly cartoonishly Nigerian in the first
But
place.
I do think it would surprise and confuse a lot of people who might be watching. Like, well, wait a minute now. Didn't he have a very large fellow with him all the time? He was a military man. Like, I think he was an admiral. Admiral of Sneeze. What was his name?
He was a commander.
He was a command. Oh, I thought he was a lance corporal.
He was always commanding things.
I have no idea what he was. Very tall. He had lovely pants.
He had lovely pants.
They were white. They were always nicely, impeccably ironed.
They were out. They were always ironed.
But I was so surprised. I thought he would be coming back with him, but apparently not. He's, you know what? I bet you he's got military things he's got to do. He's got it. He puts in first. He put because he's in the National Guard. So he has to put in his 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. He's doing his 2 weeks a year right now, and then he'll be back. I'm sure that's what they're going to do. Because I was very confused why I did not see the Commandant a sneeze.
It has nothing to do with the fact that he can't wrestle. Nothing to do with that at all.
No, of course not. What are you talking about? He's a military commander, commandant. That's what he is. I'm really happy that Apollo gets to complete his actual run in NXT here. Talk about a dude whose talent in the ring has never been allowed to really shine. He's great. And I can't wait to see him work with Breaker and Carmelo Hayes and whoever else they have him work with in the ring. Like, put are you kidding me? Put Apollo, and like, obviously this is not the way their storylines are going to mesh up, but are you kidding me? Put Apollo Crews and Santos Escobar in the ring, give them 15 minutes and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like,
agreed. And so a few things. I feel like we were kind of maybe on different sides of the fence with Ziggler. Like, I really liked him being there. I think it's ridiculous that you have nothing for Dolph Ziggler to do on your main roster, but I liked him being there.
I think somebody like Apollo Crews makes a lot more sense coming to NXT because he has the thing. I was in NXT and I think I got called up too early and I have unfinished business here. Makes a lot more sense than Dolph Ziggler going like, "Hey, it's me, the Zigmeister, and I'm here to ruin everybody's day." Like, I don't get that guy. I get why Apollo Crews would want to come back.
He was there to show the world, How dare you? But I do really like this use of Apollo Crews, and I like this use of, if you're not doing something on the main roster, coming down and working NXT in general. I think that can be a really mutually beneficial situation. I hope when ROH launches, AEW uses a tandem like that as well. Like, hey, I'm not doing a ton in AEW. I can go down and help some of the young kids out until it's time to be pushed back into a main program or a title picture. I think it's really, really great. And Apollo is such a skilled athlete. I remember hearing an interview, and it killed me that he was like trapped in this Nigerian accent gimmick. Because I remember hearing an interview where he said John Cena looked at him and was like, "Yeah, but like, who are you?" And he said, "I was so embarrassed that I didn't have an answer." And he worked really, really hard on finding, like, who are you? Because you can't just be like flashy in the ring and have a cool entrance. Like, who are you as a performer? And I just always really appreciated that, A, about John Cena, and B, that he took that very seriously. And it's nice to see he's like very naturally charismatic. I felt like everything in this promo felt kind of real. Like, he seemed like he just wanted to be back in a wrestling ring and was excited about the energy that was there. And I'm very excited, and I think he could do a lot of really great things with the talent that they have developing there. Like, he's a perfect person to match up with people of all different ring styles, because he's just a menace in the ring in a really good way. Very versatile. Like, I think he can do a lot with a lot of different ring styles. So I'm looking forward to whatever we get to see from him. And I also Oh, sorry.
You go ahead.
I was just gonna say this also left on kind of a vague note, and we found out why later. But it was like I was sitting next to my dad, and he was like, was that a promo? Because it wasn't promoting a match that got set really. And I said, no, like I'm a little bit confused too. We understood why a little bit later from now, but I was kind of like eyebrow raise at the end
he was
of that.
like, eventually, maybe at some point, when Mr. Regal sets up the match, because I'm assuming he's still here, right? They don't tell us anything on the main roster about NXT. But maybe eventually we'll have a match, you and me, Braun Breaker, for this title that you're holding on your. I mean, it was a very, hey, I'm here, just so you know. See you around.
Yeah, it was kind of odd because it felt almost open challengey, and then he came out and then was like, but not yet. Yeah. So we'll see.
Jadwin Pringle says the Zigmeister sounds a lot like Poochie. You don't get that because you're not a Simpsons person.
No, I'm not.
Everybody make fun of Kate in the chat for not understanding what that is.
Sorry.
Jake Salazar says, is Zigmeister the Stokemeister's cousin?
Maybe.
Maybe. Nerd Guru says Apollo Crews, also known as the last guy to compete in an Intercontinental title match on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. You know when it was? I'll give you bonus points.
It was WrestleMania.
The Nigerian drum match 2 WrestleManias ago.
Mm-hmm. Mark Losper says, and that's why, Braun, it's going to be you and me at In Your Takeover in an American drum match.
An American drum match.
Because he's not Nigerian right now. That's
no.
But his specialty is different kinds of drum matches.
Oh my gosh. His finisher is called like the hi-hat.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. That's good. The NCB says, I guess they're going to cycle in unused main roster talent to work with the youngsters. I'll let it play out for now. Hashtag SGS for life. Please, for the love of God, Mustafa Ali to feud with Carmelo Hayes for a 3-match pay-per-view cycle. Thank you very much. He doesn't even have to win. I just want to see those matches.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then Mark Losper says, if Apollo Crews was the best Vince could come up with to revitalize Braun after this Joel Pearl feud, what in the world did they turn down? A feud with a literal shark? Burying the title in the car park and holding a treasure hunt? I have to know.
I have a really important question.
Yeah.
Would you have rather watched the Gacy feud or Braun Breaker versus a shark?
A shark.
Okay, like a shoot shark.
Like a shoot shark.
Okay.
But it's got to be in 2 feet of water. Because then at least Braun's got a chance. Maybe at 3 feet of water. Like the shallow end of a pool. Because then Braun's got a chance. Because at least he can set his feet, you know? Otherwise, if it's in the deep end, there's no shot.
Story tracks. That makes sense.
Jada Pringle says, Kate, Poochie is half Joe Camel, half Fonzarelli.
For real? I mean, as real as a cartoon gets?
No, not for real.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking this up. I don't know. I didn't watch The Simpsons.
Chris Herrera says, all we need now is for Apollo to have the accent again the next time he's on Raw to bring the stupidity full circle.
But this, I don't feel like is a stupid move.
I wouldn't put it past him. No, it's not a stupid move. He should be here. But the fact that they think they can just go, oopsie daisy, this never happened, like that shows a complete lack of respect for anybody watching their program.
Yeah, Alex, have you been watching WWE for the past 2
years?
I know,
but they what I'm saying is I expect them to have no respect for me. I understand that. But every time they show such a blatant lack of respect, it doesn't mean I can just shrug it off.
Yes, that's
everything true. They do it, I have to call attention to it because it's bad that they're doing it. Stop doing it.
That is true. But I am glad that this is what we arrived at. I do wish there was an explanation for how we arrived here.
Apollo's finisher in the Indies was called All Out Assault. Which is,
I understand why they changed it, but yeah.
That's from Luis. So we already mentioned Giovanni Vinci's here. He's Fabian Eichner. He's got a sexy beard. He's going to debut next week. They told us,
beard.
But he's Italian, so he's got to sing it like this. I got the sexy beard. Sexy beard.
I think I'm a cute.
And NXT is weird. NXT's weird.
I know I'm sexy.
I'm a sexy boy.
I got the looks.
I got the moves that really move them.
That really move them. I am a sexy and crazy guy.
So bad. All of it's so bad. Yeah, they're taping 2 weeks tomorrow for NXT. They're taping a bunch of stuff so they can go on the road, Kate.
Kind of. Go on the road still in Orlando.
Yeah. Actually, I love that one of their house shows is in Orlando. Like, I'm sorry, that's not on you on the road. If you sleep in your own bed, you're not on the road.
In your house
yes.
was a pay-per-view and also how they run house shows.
There you go.
Oh, love Tony D saying in your house, by the way.
Yeah. It's very good.
Pop tremendously for that.
So Gacy talks to the Druids.
Definitely not Grizzled Young Vets.
And yeah.
Definitely not GYV.
No. And he says, it's okay that we lost because some things are more important than trinkets and possessions. But I thought that you needed to win the title so you could take over the world, brain. Like, come on, Narf. Let's go, people. But he says you are the dyad, which of course means two. You are the two. I wish, like, if you're gonna like start like, oh, look with the dyad. Anyway, so they're gonna have their first match next week. I'm assuming they're gonna take off the masks. Otherwise, what the hell?
Why didn't they do that at the pay-per-view?
Just do it. Do it whenever. Do it now. I don't know. Like, whatever.
It's Grizzled Young Vets. Look at them. We know.
Yeah. Nerd Guru says Tony D versus Giovanni Vinci over who's really Italian. Over the Italian American Championship is going to be awesome. I need to sit down over 2 plates of spaghetti and meatballs. But here's what I need. I need Americanized Italian food. That is what Tony eats, and like it's just like a bread and like some olive oil, and that's the only thing.
It's at the Olive Garden, and they bring out the breadsticks.
Hey, I know you're Italian, so what you like when you're here, your family. So I thought we would come to a place you could really appreciate. Giovanni, this is my place, and it's the Olive Garden. I think that would be great, honestly. Yeah, there's that. They're going to debut next week. Let's hope that they show us who they are. Giovanni Vinci is going to debut next week and have a match next week. A lot of debuts next week. Great. We got Roxy versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
A lot of positives in this.
Yes.
Tiffany Stratton continues to improve. There are, let's be honest, some people in NXT who have not been wrestling for a long time. And there are some who look like they haven't been wrestling for a long time. And there are those who look less like they haven't been wrestling like for a long time every time they have a match. And one of those people is Tiffany Stratton. So good for her to show improvement because a lot of women in NXT, I feel like all right, well, I can do a flat back bump 80% of the time. I feel like that's good. I feel like I'm good now. And like, no, she's like finding out new things. She's getting smoother with the transitions. Good for her.
The thing that I was really impressed with in this match was I feel like her ring IQ is going up too. She's working smarter, which is, I think, a very good sign for someone who's this early. There was a lot of stuff she did that just made more sense this match, despite the like double back handspring thing, which is stupid, but a lot of people do that. And Roxy, I think, also is, despite being young, and she can't not be new at this just based on the fact that she's 19. So,
right.
I think she is good at making other people look really good, which we can continue to get into with this match.
Yeah, Roxy wins. That's the right call. I there was a I mean, Tiffany Stratton's really she's playing the character really, really well. Like, I don't love the character.
Sure.
I really don't love the character, but she's committing to it and she's playing it really well. We got anyway. Well, I'll talk more about this after that. There's after the match, which Roxy wins with the Pop Rocks.
Cool finisher. I love that.
Which is a code red.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those things. The code red, if it's done in a certain way, will always pop me. And that way is all hit like 20% of the time by anybody. There's a bunch of times I'm like, okay, well, I can see that code red coming a mile away. And those ones I don't love. If it feels like it's somehow natural to like the maneuver that you're countering is a really great way of getting into it, great. But sometimes it feels like I have to set up my code red now.
Yeah.
And that sometimes it requires too much setup to actually be an effective finisher to me. I think Roxy hits it pretty well most of the time. Pretty good tonight. Anyway, afterwards, Cora Jade comes out to give her a big old hug because I don't know if you know this, but they're friends.
What?
Very important that
Since
we all know
when?
this. I know. It's shocking. And then Toxic Attraction comes out to talk shit.
Kind of.
I mean, like, you're never gonna beat me. So I don't think you can cash in your little contract on me, sister, because you're gonna fail.
What the hell else is she gonna do with the like? That's my thing. That would be like.
But they did say Michael Dammit has said in something to me. He says during the women's breakout tournament final, the line uttered on commentary: "The winner earns a championship opportunity of their choosing." Odd choice of wording. And the way that she was that Mandy was saying to Roxy,
Madcap Rose.
Yeah, Madcap Rose. Was saying to Roxy, you better not cash that in on me, as Cora was standing right next to her. Made me think for a hot second, holy crap, they're going to do the reverse of the other thing. They're going to have Roxy say to Mandy, like, I don't even want your title. Not now. I'll come for that later. Me and my girl Cora are coming for your titles. Because we've always wanted to be tag team champs, they would say in some stupid interview. Like, always wanted to be? Those things were introduced like a year and a half ago. Less than that in NXT. But I honestly thought they were going to do that with the way that Mandy was talking and the way that Cora was right there. I thought they were going to, oh no, we're going to be tag champs first. I'm glad they didn't do that yet. They still might. You never know. But there's a brawl, and wouldn't you know it, that danged old numbers game until Indy Hartwell ran out and just clocked somebody from behind when she got there. I didn't know it was Indy for a second. I was like, is that Sonya Deville? Because I forgot Indy existed. I'm sorry, guys. Like, it's just every week it's really hard to keep track of these people if they're not always on TV. So I saw long black hair, and I was like, was that Sonya? No, it's Indy. Okay, better. That would have made even less sense. So I'm glad that it's Indy. And so we're going to get probably a 6-woman tag next week. Because why not?
Yeah, and they did set that up officially later in the show, I think. So a lot to like about the match itself. I thought it was funny that Roxy was in pink and black gear because I was like, this isn't the Owen, this is the Breakout tournament. There was a counter of a wrist lock with a wrist lock, which I just thought was kind of funny. I really like Roxy's selling overall. I think she does a great, more proportionate sell. Just some good stuff here. A really great leg sweep from Roxy that we saw. It's just nice to see like clean women's wrestling, because I feel like we don't get that a ton in the championship pictures.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see like a really solid match. I think one of Tiffany Stratton's better matches. And overall, like you alluded to, like it's nice to see somebody developing. Like she did a lot of smarter stuff. Her moveset, like you said, is becoming smoother, and she's starting to piece things together more, and that's really refreshing. I just wish she was getting like more of a, I wrote down in my notes that like I think like a Beth Phoenix kind of feel would have been more appropriate, because I look at her and I don't think Daddy's Girl. I look at her and I think, wow, like look how jacked she is and muscular she is. She looks like she walked out of American Gladiators, which is really, really cool. Like, why can't we speak to that part of her?
Yeah.
But it's nice to see somebody coming along. And as I said, on the last post show that we did, like that, there's only one way that happens, and it's hard work. So good for her for putting the work in. It's showing up week after week, and it is nice to see the needle moving forward. I was kind of surprised we didn't get any. I don't think we saw anything with Grayson Waller tonight and her, since they were like doing this "we're dating, we're not dating" thing. Unless I'm missing something, but I don't think we saw them together on screen tonight. Just suspicious.
No,
but it was really nice to like this women's match. It was nice that the finals of a tournament felt like the finals of a tournament. Like it felt like a big event.
Yeah.
Probably should have main evented.
Yes. Well,
Mandy's promo was the most generic thing I've ever heard in my life after.
Wendy Chu was being interviewed very quickly, and then it was immediately interrupted by Tiffany Stratton. Oh no, she cheated. And then Wendy Chu keeps like, excuse me, how dare you? This is obviously my time to talk. And then Wendy threw orange soda in her face, like you could tell that was not water. And at that point, then Tiffany was like, Grayson, help me.
That's right.
So okay. There's that.
Wendy has great timing. Her comedic timing is dead on.
Yep.
Perfect.
Joseph Kirai says 2 great things happened tonight. Roxanne won the women's breakout tourney, and Apollo is back to his old self on NXT. Mark Losper says, here's a game for the stream. Because friend of the show, Doc Muller, it's like, man, Roxy's got everything you need. What a great baby face she's going to be. Everyone's going to love her on the main roster. And I was like, asterisk, if they don't screw that up.
Right.
And he was like, just let me have this. And I was like, I remember saying the exact same thing about Toni Storm and Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai, who never even made it to the main roster. So I'm just saying, like, I think Roxy's can't miss. There's a bunch of people I thought were can't miss who got called up to the main roster and then forgotten about. So
well they can't all be mellow. Some of them miss.
Right, there you go.
But I said that I was less sure about Bianca, and Bianca is an absolute star. So, they clearly see something in her, because she's gotten a huge push since the second she walked in the door.
Right.
As she should. She's great. She was doing wonderful work in ROH and on the indies. They could very well screw it up.
Yeah.
So far, they haven't.
Right.
So let's just enjoy that moment while it lasts.
Mark Losper says, here's a game for the stream, because he is as cynical about this as I am. He says, what bakery item do you think Charlotte is going to hit Roxanne in the face with when she gets to the main roster, given that pies have already been done? Chocolate mud cake, cinnamon babka, a plate of black and white cookies?
I think because they've already screwed so many things up, they have to actually screw up what the dessert is going to be too. And it's going to be like chocolate covered strawberries. And that's not going to, you know what I mean? Like they have to screw up the dessert part of it as well. Like go shove it in her face and it's just like 6 strawberries fall down.
Yeah.
I think it'll be that.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea. Yeah. That's good. I like that. Yeah. Strawberries. That sounds good. Roxy says next week. Mark Losper says Roxy's going to say next week, I don't want your damn title, Mandy, because it spent too much time in the pool. I'm cashing in my opportunity for an opportunity to win Money in the Bank, for an opportunity to take both titles off of Roman Reigns. Wouldn't that be nice?
For the 24/7 championship.
Yep. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? I do love their inconsistent messaging about what the Money in the Bank is.
Fair.
Like it's for a shot at the main eventing WrestleMania, and I think I figured it out. If you win the Money in the Bank briefcase, you have a very good chance of cashing that in to become the top champ. And if you can stay top champ until WrestleMania, then you will main event WrestleMania. So therefore, what they're saying is true. It's just the most roundabout possible way of getting there. And basically, what should happen, if you honestly think about how they're actually booking things, it should end up being the winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase versus the winner of the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania every year. Because when you have those guarantees, basically, that's the way it should work. But they never actually book it that way.
No.
So,
you know what, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a little help cashing it in.
Oh,
you know what I
my
mean?
gosh. You know what? I needed some help cashing it in the other day.
I think we all do from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always have.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Because I don't mean that at all.
Oh, well,
I never need help in that area.
Okay, well, sometimes I'm not talking about a briefcase. Sometimes I'm not talking about a Royal Rumble win. And I know Sean Ross Sapp isn't when he's here to tell you all about Blue Chew.
Is your penis soft? Is it difficult to get hard? Do you have issues with sexual performance? Do you have issues with sexual confidence? BlueChew.com, code Fightful, gives you your first shipment of Blue Chew for free. It will help you get a harder, stronger erection. It will make you more confident in your sexual performance. You take an online questionnaire. You work with an online physician. You don't wait in line at the pharmacy. You don't wait in line at the doctor's office. It's prepared and shipped direct in a discreet package. That way, nobody knows that you are getting Blue Chew in order to make your penis erect. Blue Chew and the code Fightful gets you your first shipment free if you want an erect penis. I'm going to end the ad now.
Like, I know Sean does that to make us feel uncomfortable, but it kind of looks like he just needs help. You know what I mean? But anyway, BlueChew.com, use the code Fightful. And with the money you save on that, you know what you can do? You can go to Fightful Select. And you can subscribe for just $5 a month to learn all about the most breaking news in wrestling. We've got updates on the Stephanie McMahon exiting WWE situation or being on hiatus. We got updates on the Edge and Finn Balor situation coming to Fightful Select.
I will just say this. I called all of Judgment Day, and whoever is in charge of it, I referred to them as the spooky dude du jour last night, and I was not far off for what they want to do with that thing. That's all I'll say.
It is true. You can catch, in addition to all of that breaking news, there's podcasts coming every day to you at Fightful Select, including the lovely man to my left every Monday and Friday, bringing you the most sour in reviews of Raw and SmackDown. I usually join when I have a voice, or there's just something I want to rant about, or there's a wrestling wedding, because I love wrestling weddings. So subscribe to Fightful Select.
Luis wants Roxy versus Roman now, please. Well,
right now?
Yeah, right now. Just for a second. The Chase U presents Thea Hale with a scholarship to Chase U. And I'm sorry, sweetheart. That's not how getting into college works. You don't pick the university and then they give you the scholarship. Like don't do that. You should probably use that as a criteria for whether or not you're going to go to the university. If one university is going to offer you financial aid, go there. For the love of God, I'm still paying off my student loans. I'm in my mid 40s. Please don't do that, kids.
I got my scholarship letter before I got my acceptance letter. And I was like, oh, I guess I got in if they're going to pay me money to go here. It would be real weird if they were like, here's a bunch of money, but we don't want you at our university.
Yeah.
Thanks, Seton Hall.
And then Yes Boys, the Yes Boys, Yes Boy 1 and Yes Boy 2.
I will say, good for Thea Hale that she's not getting swindled going to a fake university. At least she's going, with some financial assistance, if not a free ride.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so anyway, the Yes Boys are I love that they lost and are immediately dropped down into feuding with Chase U. Like, who did they piss off? Like, I mean, I think the Creed should have been the champions a long time ago, but it doesn't mean like the Yes Boys who came in and were given the belts and now are like, okay, you've dropped as far down the card as we can send you. My goodness.
And it was like a 2-on-1 handicap match. So we saw them attack Bodhi backstage.
Right.
And immediately I was like, good for him for looking out backstage. Every time someone gets attacked backstage, they don't know who it is. Bodhi was like, I got eyes out, okay? Yeah. I'm Chase U educated. I can see who attacked me.
Yeah.
So Andre Chase was, I thought it was just a 1-on-1, but no, it was a 2-on-1 handicap match with Andre Chase. It was
supposed to be a tag team match, but Bodhi got hurt. And I don't remember. Was his shirt ripped when they found him on the floor backstage? Because I don't remember it being. But then when he came out during the match to try and help Professor Chase, his shirt was like completely ripped and hanging open. And I was like, was that a thing that they did between then and now? Whatever. Thea Hale comes out. She's like, yo, what are you doing? Bodhi, you gotta go back. It's like, no, we need to help Mr. Chase. And Thea Hale, it's like she had never considered that was a possibility because her eyes light up and she leaps up onto the apron and she's looking for a tag. And I was like, if you let Thea Hale, 18-year-old Thea Hale, get the first ever intergender action in the WWE history, I feel like you've made wrong choices. But all she does was slap Yes Boy Blonde, Yes Blonde. And then that didn't really count. And then Andre Chase gets pinned by Spilt Milk. And so at least the Yes Boys won the match that they had in a 2-on-1 handicap against a guy and then perhaps his female student. Not really sure.
I'll just say, Bodhi coming out, I was like, immediately the Cody fighting injured trickle-down effect has begun.
Yes,
Bodhi gets attached backstage and feels the need to crawl to the ring. See, this is why it's dangerous that Cody
doesn't
went
want
out there.
Spot, Kate. See, he doesn't want to leave the spot. Well, listen, I'm obviously you got 17 broken ribs and you're bleeding internally. But I mean,
get out there.
Cody wrestled with a torn pec, so I'm just saying.
Head to the ring.
Yep.
I don't know why, but it just really popped me that on commentary, Wade Barrett was like, no, boy. That just cracked me up, and I really liked it. Other than that, there wasn't a lot to write home about this match. Obviously, I think, this match happened so that the Yes Boys Pretty Deadly would just be on our television. So I think that, we've said it before, I think screen time is how they are trying to measure who's over, not wins or losses or what the actual feud looks like. So I think it was just a matter of keeping them on TV, and if it was in something pointless. So that's really all I have to say about that.
There you go. Yes, I forgot about this. Vic Joseph says that his favorite Cena moment was where he pulled on all the chairs and they landed on Wade Barrett. That's what Vic Joseph decided to say, because John Cena, I don't know if you know this, but it's Cena Pride Month. We must show our pride in John Cena, and that's what Pride Month means to WWE.
I mean, LGBTQIA and John Cena have the same palette of colors.
I'm just saying, they were like, it's June, it's Cena month. There's nothing else happening in June, is there, everybody? Nope, just Cena month.
Well, last time they were celebrating the anniversary of something. They ended up giving us an egg instead. So.
That's true. So we got Kaylee Ray versus Tatum Paxley.
I would like to motion to start calling her Potato Paxley. Every time they say Tatum, I just keep thinking of taters.
Tater Paxley. Yes, Alba Fire likes to walk down to the ring, actually with a bat on fire. They should teach her how to do the fire spitting thing, just to make it really cool for like a pay-per-view.
I was gonna say the batons.
Like she's got the fire right there, right? She should come out and she should like have a mouthful of alcohol or whatever and go like this, and we go. That'd be really great. Of course, they'd probably light something on fire.
She's just a girl and she's on fire.
Indeed. I mean, Tatum Paxley is one of those who also continues to improve. She will get better and better if they let her.
Tater Paxley. And
Alba, I like the finish of the match.
Me too.
Where Tatum Paxley is like, if I roll slightly further away from you, you won't be able to hit your swanton on me. And Alba Fire was like, bet. And then she just flew all the way across the ring, which was very, very impressive. So
I loved the smirk she gave at the top. Like, you're going to have to roll further than that, sweetheart.
Tom LaValle, helpfully, is saying that that if Roxy's going to get hit in the face with a dessert, that it should be the cinnamon babka. They wanted the chocolate babka, but it was sold out because that happens all the time, and it's really too bad. But I know instead, maybe it should be a magic spoon match. Use the code Fightful.
Good news, Magic Spoon fans. You know, one of those flavors you loved growing up? Honey nut. It's there. MagicSpoon.com. They have it. It's delicious. I ate it this morning. It's wonderful. If you're trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast is kind of boring to you, Magic Spoon has you covered. It's got those amazing flavors like honey nut, but without all the bad stuff. It's great as a snack throughout the day as well. 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, and only 140 calories per serving. Keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and you can build your own box. Available flavors include cocoa, fruity, frosted peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle, blueberry, cinnamon, and honey nut. It's going to be added permanently? Honey nut is added permanently? What are you waiting on? MagicSpoon.com/Fightful. Grab a custom bundle. Use our promo code FIGHTFUL to save $5 on your order. And how about this? They're so confident that you're going to like it, they've got a money-back guarantee. So if you hit them up and say, I don't like delicious cereal, they'll say, all right, here's your money back. MagicSpoon.com/Fightful.
Permanently? Apollo Crews is back in NXT permanently?
As long as he chooses to be there. Hey, you know what you could do with that $5 that you're saving on Magic Spoon?
Mm-hmm.
You could go to Fightful Select and subscribe. Before I told you all the exciting news that was coming, now I'm just telling you that if you want to be cool, you should subscribe to Fightful Select because you're not cool unless you're subscribed.
Everyone should do it if they're cool.
Yeah. Or you can use that money to send in a super chat or a humper chat because we are coming down the home stretch uncharacteristically early for us.
Yes, it really is. So Jake Salazar says to Eugene Solis, who told us that he is a new member of the family. Welcome, Eugene. He's on behalf of us, I guess he's saying, our wonderful hosts, Al and Katie. Jake Salazar has turned full Matthew Plus. This is not, you never go full Matthew Plus.
No, you really don't.
No.
Because the next thing we have to do is put you in a feud with Tony D'Angelo, and you'll inevitably lose, and you'll be a part of that family instead of the Sour Grap Society, and nobody wants that.
No. Jaden Pringle says, how much for Papa Paul Elizabeth to make a run in?
I think Papa Paul Elizabeth might be in bed or getting ready for bed.
That'd be fun.
One of these times. One of these
days.
$50 and I'll wake him up.
No, but make sure you just Venmo that to Kate. Don't give it to Sean. We'll never see a dime of it. Give it.
Yeah, no, Venmo me.
Venmo it to Kate, because then she'll cut me in on that, and then I'm kidding. So we got I full on mea culpa. It was always a mistake to call them giant walking loaves of white bread. It's my fault. I prejudged them far too early. But Luis Polito has now is just taken to calling them dem loafs instead of dem boys. Dem loafs are celebrating their title win with Roddy and Big Ive.
Because in my head, what happened was the Briscoe brothers were calling themselves dem loafs, and that is hysterical in my brain.
Yeah. They're not doing what I wanted them to do, which was to hold an in-ring celebration, everybody in the Diamond Mine, to celebrate the Creeds winning the championship, and have Roddy come out and them say, "Not so fast, young man. We are kicking you out." Because I want, maybe that's the final step, but and they're slow playing it. But then Malik Blade and Edison O'Fay come in, and they're doing Malik Blade and Edison O'Fay stuff, and I'm sorry, I just don't. It's not for me. It's just not. I don't get it. I'm not. It's not for me. It's not for me. Like, it literally isn't being produced so that I will like it. And guess what? I don't, and that's fine. Whatever. But I don't have time for them. I think they're a couple of goofballs. I think Edison O'Fay has a lot of potential, but pairing him with Malik Blade is death to me. But the Creeds, because they're honorable champs, are like, of course you can have a title match next week. And Roddy's like, what are you doing? No, you got to make these guys earn it. You don't just hand out title matches like they're candy. I should know. I was a champion a bunch of times. I was given to give you guys one mistake. One I was going to allow you guys one mistake before I started getting on your asses. And guess what? You just made it. So now Roddy's, I don't know. Was he going to like force them to freebird the titles? And like Roddy and Damon Kemp will defend it one time and then they'll lose. Is that how they're going to do this? It feels like anything is on the table to make terrible decisions surrounding this particular tag team, because they've made all of them so far, except for this one, making them champs.
It is very weird that someone without a title is like, I was going to give you one mistake with the title.
Mm-hmm.
That made absolutely no sense to me. I do like that we're going to have fighting tag team champions. Mm-hmm. I feel safe that they won't drop it to Idris and Malik. That's probably a good sign. But this was just a weird segment. Like, it was just it felt very lost to be like, because he also had said, like, you made mistakes during that match that almost cost you. Mm-hmm. And then was like, I was going to give you a mistake as champion, or what? Kick them out of Diamond Mine? They already have the tag titles.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was bizarre.
Yeah. Bonus, baby. Dem loaves, reach for the yeast, boy. It's good.
Well played.
Aaron H says, I love the Creeds, but today I realized that Brutus looks exactly like my high school football coach. He acts like him too. He just needs a mustache and a grill apron, and he's there. I just love the idea that your football coach was coaching in a grill apron, because of course, why not? So one of the opening segments was Carmelo Hayes coming to the ring with Trick Williams, gloating about having beaten Cameron Grimes, who was not on the show tonight at all. And then Blonde Uso, Solo Sikoa comes out, and he's great. He's super over. He cuts a nice promo. Was like, I got next. He's like, no, you made that arrangement with the former champion. You backed the wrong horse. So you thinking that he was going to give you a match after he defended the title means you thought we weren't going to win the title. And guess what? We did. So now you go to the back of the line. And so does Grayson Waller also thinks that. And he comes out and everybody hates Grayson Waller, even Wade Barrett, which is saying something. So he says, you shouldn't. Why do you think you get even a title match? Because you asked for one? Yes, that's literally how it works here. So Solo decides to fight all of them at once, which is not a good choice for him. And then he demands that he have a handicap match against them. He says, if somebody wants to come down to the ring, they can be my guest. And I was like, so he's going to get a tag partner, and I wonder who it's going to be. And I did not have in my bingo card Apollo Crews, because as far as I know, they've never interacted together. It's just like, hey, I've missed this place and actually wrestling good matches. How about I get in on this too? And that's fine. I don't know, Kate. I'm an old school guy who kind of wants them to save big time stuff for big time matches. The first time that Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes touch shouldn't be in just this meaningless tag match. Like, I wanted them to have like an actual feud where they feuded over something, because I wanted them to actually do it. But that's just me. I thought the match was excellent. I thought Apollo Crews looked fantastic. As much as I hate Grayson Waller, he's a fine worker. I'm not gonna go further than that, but I don't see like a hitch in his giddy up. He knows what he's doing. That's fine. And the rest of the guys are great. Solo is just he's just not he's better than this place. Solo is better than this place and should immediately be on the. He melds literally. This is the thing I was watching him, because he also starts to wrestle like this too. He's certainly doing moves of both versions. What he is he's his father, young. He's Rikishi before he was Rikishi, when he was just Fatu, but way more athletic and stronger. But he's got that build and he's got like that explosiveness or whatever, but he melds perfectly his brothers and his father. Like, he's the perfect Uso. It's like they created him in a lab, and he's just better than this place.
I love that description. For some reason, watching tonight, I was like, I needed to see him versus Takeshita.
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun? Like two Mack trucks, but that can really move somehow colliding. Yeah, Solo Sikoa is really special, and it kind of snuck up on me a little bit, but the past few months have really, really shown me how great he is at this. And this is the only fun part of NXT, is that it sometimes feels like kids are getting ready to graduate. It was so prime. I love it. It feels like kids are getting ready to graduate, and like, he's ready to graduate. I don't think he should have a title run before he goes up. I think he should just go up. What I'm intrigued by is the Cody injury going to mean that Braun gets called up earlier, and does that affect things in NXT, right? Is Melo gonna drop and take the NXT title? Is Braun gonna stay NXT champion? Like, I'm intrigued to see if that gets shaken up. But like,
no, they have no reason to call up Braun Breaker, Kate, because they just made Edge a babyface. All it took was all of his equally evil buddies beating him up. Now he's a babyface, Kate. Don't you know? The pre-W Insider had the report. He's a babyface now. He's going to take all of that great Cody babyface spot, and he's going to win the Money in the Bank and going to cash in. Everyone's going to cheer, because Edge has not been insulting everybody for the past 2 months straight.
I think it's a huge mistake if you don't have Seth win Money in the Bank and Cody take the suitcase from Seth.
I agree.
Especially because Seth and Damian Sandow were the first ones, I think, to switch the Money in the Bank briefcase in, like, from winner to somebody else, if I remember correctly. God, that was like a decade ago. Excuse my wrestling knowledge if that was wrong. But Braun's ready to go. Solo is ready to go in a different way. Like, I don't need to see him with the title. There's a storyline that is ripe for him to enter into. And it's just, it's fun. It's fun to see something really great like come out of what has been mostly bad programming, in my opinion. Like, he's really, really good. And your description of him was perfect, that he's like the in a lab Uso, because he is. He is like a rock solid presence, but has a lot of agility for someone his size and stature. I don't believe in X factors or like having a gift. I don't think that's a thing that you have outside of hard work. But he has found whatever it is that helps you put everything together in the way that somebody who knows themselves extremely well goes about things. There was a really important discussion on Grapsity that I've heard before, but they had a really good one a couple weeks ago about character versus gimmick and how people can confuse the two of like, oh, Bryan Danielson doesn't have a character. He has a character. He just doesn't have like a gimmick character. Solo Sikoa has a character and not a gimmick. Santos Escobar is almost somewhere in between, but probably more of a character. And I just think the thing that I've seen with him grow the most is that character become a part of every single step he takes in the ring. And that's been really, really fun to see. I thought this was a really fun main event. I completely understand your criticism about not wanting Cruz and Carmelo to touch. I think it's a little bit trickier of a thing to predict in NXT, but I understand it. But I don't know. I thought this was a really fun main event, and I was like, well, thank God for Briggs and Von Wagner, because otherwise I would have been like very happy about basically this entire episode. And that's just not what we do at Sour Graps, Alex.
Yeah. So we got Mark Losper saying that Edge needs to be a video package where he wakes up in bed randomly and says, I don't remember the last 6 months. Why do I live on a mountain now?
You know what the screwed up part about this is we've been calling this House of Black, or saying it's an imitation of House of Black, and Malachi Black's whole character he described it as the devil with amnesia, which is the most badass thing I've ever heard, where he's like, I've definitely done something evil. I don't remember what it is. That would have been a way cooler exit for Edge. Yes. Or just planning something other than some dudes beat me up.
How about planning anything?
Just planning.
Josh Weaver says Edge had to defend his briefcase against Matt Hardy in 2005.
But it didn't switch, right?
No, it didn't switch. And there was I'm not really sure exactly how they did that, but Nurguru says perpetual loser Apollo Crews is here. Yay, I guess. Well, I mean, like, that's just bad booking. Like, he was I still think if they hadn't called him up when they did, he was next in line. He was going to be champ of NXT. Like Samoa Joe had just gotten the belt back from Shinsuke. Like, Apollo Crews was rocketing to the top, and they hadn't given him a title match yet. And like, this is the guy you feud with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's the guy. They're going to take it off him and put it on somebody else. The guy was Apollo Crews, and they called him up, and that was bad. This has been bad booking on the main roster. But he says, how in God's name has this dumb show not had the Usos help their brother? Like, come on. It's so obvious. If Roxy doesn't win the title, I quit. I hope you don't have to quit.
Me too. I'll also say about the main event, it's weird that Carmelo Hayes chose someone that wasn't Trick Williams to be his tag team partner for this. Like, that's just odd, because we know Trick Williams has wrestled. That's just bizarre.
Yes. The finish of the match I really enjoyed, because it actually is a smart counter, an actual counter, because Waller has to do his stupid run into the ring dive thing to do his stunner, but that puts him in the air with his back turned to Apollo Crews, whose finisher, you may not know this because he doesn't win a lot of matches, is this awesome toss power bomb thing. From a backdrop position, tossed into a power bomb, and that's a perfect counter to whatever the hell Grayson Waller calls his stupid thing that he does. So Apollo Crews picking up a victory. To me, that's a good sign. I love that he's showing up here at least. at least showing up here. We'll see what happens in the future as a babyface, because that's a different thing than like Dolph Ziggler coming down and being like, the Zigmeister's here to take all your titles. I like that people are like, welcome back. We missed you to Apollo Crews. That feels good.
It does. I'll also say that the stalling suplex in this match, where he just had him upside down for 25 minutes, was fantastic. And that the crowd is dumb because he was upside down for 30 seconds and they started counting. And I was like, come on, you can't do the 10 count 20 seconds into this thing. Nope. But in a dream world, we get Apollo Crews versus Alex Hammerstone somewhere.
Yeah. So all we got now are some super and humper chats. And then we got several jukebox requests, so that should be good.
Thank goodness, because this is weird. We're early. It was like there was some positive stuff to talk about today. This doesn't feel like Sour Graps. I feel like I'm in a bizarre world. It's gross.
Yeah, it's very odd.
I feel itchy.
Jake Salazar says WWE messed up with Daddy Magic. Dude is amazing. Daddy Magic is amazing. And
I appreciate him.
Yeah, he's very.
See what I did there?
Yeah, it's good. No, I see what you did there.
You picked up what I was putting down?
Yeah.
Clever as it was to just.
Aaron H says, thank you, Team Kalex, for all you do and for building a loving community. It means a lot to have a gaggle of weirdos to hang out with each week. Many a time, y'all have helped me with my mental health. Well, thank you so much, Aaron H. We that's the best thing we could possibly hear. So
yeah, that's always that's the real fun in doing this. I like talking about wrestling, but stuff like that is the thing that warms my heart the most.
Thank you. Pragmatism is evil for your donation. Thank you very much. Mark Losper has a request for Get the Flick Out of Here that we should review Street Fighter the movie, which I'm all for. However, it is not available to stream anywhere for free, so we'd have to like get reimbursed by Jimmy Van, which I'm sure he'd be okay with.
Yeah, I think we could invoice that.
We'd probably invoice that, but yeah, no, that is a top tier, terrible, but also fun to watch movie. And Mark Quill says, I spent time chatting wrestling with some good friends for the site I help edit and write for instead of NXT. So I think I made the wisest decision tonight. Good evening, Alex, Kate, JW Pringle, Bruster Elizabeth, Paul Elizabeth, and the SGS. Thank you, Mark Quill. JW Pringle has a question. Did we see Cody get WWE'd for the first time in his new run with the Fed? What the F was that? He became an actual babyface and had an amazing end to the feud, handshake and all. Then Vince happens. Well, I mean, I would say it did as much, was as weird to do what they did for Seth as it was for Cody. Like Seth, like, okay, I respect you. Like that's like, oh, are they gonna replace Cody with Seth? Because Seth learned his lesson because of like seeing Cody's toughness. Is Seth gonna be the replacement babyface? Then no, he just comes out and attacks him. And like, well, if you're gonna do that, just okay. But they also just the way they lionized Cody for the entire night on commentary. Cody Rhodes, the greatest of our era, the toughest man who's ever been tough. The balls on that man, how thick and robust his testicles are. The Miz, sorry, Mark Losper says, Edge next week. After what happened to me last week, on this day,
I see clearly.
That's good. Okay, everybody, it's down to the nitty gritty here. We're gonna do some requests. We have 2 Regal Raps, which we'll be doing last. And we got one here where I'm not. We'll see. NCB is saying that there's a new SGS character, Finn Balor. Listen, it's a very limited fake Finn Balor that I do, but I will try very, very hard to do it. The one he wants me to do is Back at One by Brian McKnight. Hold on a second. It's undeniable that we should be together. It's unbelievable how I used to say that I'd fall never. The basis is need to know. Hold on. The basis is need to know. If you don't know just how I feel, then let me show you now that I'm for real. Of all things in time, time will reveal. 1, you're like a dream come true. 2, just want to be with you. 3, girls plain to see that you're the only one for me. And 4, repeat steps 1 through 3. 5, make you fall in love with me. If ever I believe my work is done, then I'll start back at 1.
Nailed it.
That's bad. Sorry about that, guys. I mean, I can repeat certain things he said recently, like last night when he was like, "Thank you for the kind words." Like, I really can't.
Sounds more like Seamus.
Oh, Seamus is up here. Seamus is way up here. Hey, mate, what are you doing? He's very breathy. Seamus talks like this. Hey, come over here. Jeff Hardy, you're a junkie. Also, everybody in the New Day, I hate all of you. That's how Seamus is different.
He sounds like a brawling brute, that man.
Yeah. He does, which is coincidental because he is. Samuel Hernandez says, in honor of my 21st birthday yesterday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
I would like to request the last verse of Lift Yourself by Kanye West, sung by Tony D. Last verse.
You got some work to do.
I know. Oh, well, no. The last verse. Here we go. Poopy scoop. Scoop diddy whoop. Whoop de scoop de poop. Poop de scoop de. Scoop de whoop. Whoopity scoop. Whoop poop. Poop diddy whoop scoop. Poop poop. Scoop diddy whoop. Whoop diddy scoop. Whoop diddy scoop poop. Gabagoop. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And what a birthday gift.
And happy birthday. And happy birthday. NCB. Now we get two Regal Raps. We get NCB requesting "Baby by Me" by 50 Cent. All right. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Be a millionaire, be a millionaire. Shorty said, take it off, I'll take it off. Climb right out of my clothes. Want me to break you off? I'll break you off till your lum come down on your walls. I'm extremely focused. Sweating, I'm stroking. I better get you open. I'll leave your headboard broken. You think I'm joking? I bet I'll get you open. Have a baby by me, baby. Be a millionaire. Man with a mask, how are you? Battle Frolic. Blood and guts.
Like, what? Most of the time, I just like, oh, we have so much fun on Tuesdays. And then some Tuesdays, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Like, what is this amazing, wonderfully weird thing?
Mark Losper pointing out it's true. Kanye is such an incredible lyricist.
It's true.
It's true. Finally, the last Regal Rap. Tom LaValle requesting Montero, a.k.a. Call Me By Your Name, by Lil Nas X. I caught it bad yesterday. You hit me with a call to your place. I ain't been out in a while anyway. Was hoping I could catch you throwing smiles in my face. Romantic talking, you don't even have to try. You're cute enough to fuck with me tonight. Looking at the table, I see the reason why. Maybe you're living the life, but fella, you ain't living right. The cocaine and drinking with your friends. You live in the dark, boy. I cannot pretend. I'm not phased, only here to sin. If Eve ain't in your garden, you know that you can. Call me when you want. Call me when you need. Call me in the morning. I'll be on my way. Call me when you want. Call me when you need. Call me out by your name. I'll be on the way like blood and guts.
Nailed it.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride. In
Kate,
John Cena.
Yeah. How can they find you, Kate?
Oh, you can find me on Kate's Instagram at Kastograms on Instagram. You can follow me at Miss Kate Fabe on TikTok and eventually Twitter again. And you can catch me on commentary at the Excite commentary desk. And Alex, guess what they're setting up in August
What?
at Excite Wrestling?
What?
It's in a stadium
Yes.
because it involves 2 rings.
Wow.
Indie wrestling.
Blood and guts.
Nailed it. War games.
War games.
Very exciting.
That is very cool.
We'll
You
see.
can follow me on the Twitter at Alex Sour Graps. You can find the two of us talking about
Just
episodes of
tonight.
Unsolved
We
Mysteries
can make it if we try.
on the Know Your News show. Get the flick out of here, which will be dropping on Thursday as per usual. Also, tomorrow night I'll be talking Dynamite on this here channel with Sean Ross Sapp. You got your own thing that you're
At Mark Order Pod.
And then on Friday I'll be back talking about SmackDown and whatever the hell's going on over there.
I'll be talking about AEW Rampage and SmackDown on the main again with Alexis Cardoza this week because Sean fears me.
I don't like this. I don't like this whole
Dueling
imposter Alex thing. I don't like this. He's gonna have to change his name. I'm not okay with it.
You should do a run-in.
I might have to. Mark Quill says we should borrow the Cody countdown for the countdown to Kate's return to Twitter.
I need like a Kate. Wait, can I?
We should do it. It should be a countdown. That's good. It should be a countdown, but spelled with a K. The countdown.
Ooh, I like that.
The countdown. That's good.
I feel like you're no-selling my Catervator.
And if,
Wait.
and
We have
if-
time.
Sure. We have all the time in the world, Kate. Show me the Catervator.
We're 14 minutes early. Ready?
And if Tatum Paxley was taking it, it'd be the Tatervator.
It would be a Tatervator. I don't have like a jacket. Okay, ready? This is the first time they did it. This is how it's supposed to go. Wrestling podcasting only has one Royal Society. Adrenaline in my pack. Why'd I wrestle? What the heck? That seems like negligence.
All right, everybody. I don't know what we're supposed to do now.
We can tell the people that pretty much everything sucks. And to keep cool, gabagool. I can't believe we didn't mention this. That Carmelo Hayes in a promo said, "I'm gabagood whenever you want."
Oh, that segment was great. Where Tony was like, "Hey, that's a nice new championship you got there. Be a shame if something would have happened to it." And he's like, "Whatever you say, man. I'm gabagood with whatever you want, man." I was like, "That's so great. Good. That's so great."
So
yeah,
it was gaba great.
It's like Luis is like giving me an excuse for what not. That wasn't your fault. It was my fault. That was my fault for not reading that the most. I remember you putting it there. I just skipped over it. But yeah, Tony D just deciding who gets to keep the title for how long is better than him having any title. Like he's like,
yes.
You got to pay me protection money or something might happen. Like is absolutely great. Hey, the bots finally showed up.
That's how we know.
As soon as we all decided to go home, that's how we know it's time to go home. The sex bots have arrived, everybody.
The go home bots.
The go home. There we go. I'm sorry. That's it now. The sex bots have returned to the chat. Keep cool, gabagool.